All right, let's get into it. The race for AI supremacy, it used to feel pretty simple, right? It was all about who could build the biggest, most powerful model. But we are way past that now. We've entered this new kind of murky, deep water phase. So let's dive into this new battlefield, where the strategies are getting way smarter, a little bit stranger, and a whole lot more interesting.
So when the rumors about OpenAI's next big model, GPT-5, started flying around, everyone was expecting this absolute beast, a monster model that would just leave everything else in the dust. So when the word on the street was that it was going to be a router, it felt, well, kind of underwhelming, right? But what if that's the whole point?
See, this router idea isn't a step back, not at all. In fact, it's one of the most brilliant strategic moves happening in the AI space right now. It shows this huge shift away from just chasing raw power and towards building something that's way more clever and honestly sustainable.
So what in the world is a router model? Well, think of it like a CEO. A good CEO doesn't do every single task in the company themselves, right? Of course not. That would be incredibly inefficient. Instead, they look at a problem and delegate it to the right person, the right department. And that is exactly what this new system does.
Okay, let's walk through it. You ask a simple question, something like, what's the weather today? The router sees this, knows it's an easy job, and sends it to a small, fast, and super cheap model. But if you ask it to write 1,000 lines of complex code, well, the router delegates that to one of its big, powerful models. The result for you is a fast, correct answer. And for OpenAI,
the result is a massive, massive drop in how much it costs to run. And that is the real genius here. This isn't just a cool tech decision. It's an absolutely brilliant business move. I mean, in a market this competitive, if you can slash your costs, you can boost your profits and offer your services for cheaper, it's a huge win.
But efficiency is only one part of the plan. OpenAI is throwing a combination punch here. So while they're making their main service super efficient with the router, they're also dropping a powerful new open-source model to compete directly with companies like Meta and their Llama models. They're trying to win on every single front.
And the technology that makes a lot of this possible is called a mixture of experts, or MOE. Again, think of a committee. You wouldn't ask your entire committee of experts to solve every single problem, would you? No, you'd pick the specialists who are actually suited for the job. The router does the same thing, picking the right mini models for the task. It's all about that same idea, smart delegation.
So the story so far is all about being efficient, cutting costs, using clever architecture, right? Okay, well, get ready for a major plot twist, because at the exact same time, OpenAI is making a secret, absolutely colossal bet that completely contradicts everything we just talked about.
Just as the entire industry starts thinking about getting lean and efficient, OpenAI is quietly going in the total opposite direction. It's like they believe there are two different roads to the future of AI, and they are hell-bent on winning the race on both of them.
100 trillion. Just let that number sink in. 100 trillion. That is the rumored size of a secret brute force model that they are training right now. This has nothing to do with being clever or efficient. This is a pure, raw gamble on the old rule, bigger is better. This is their AI moonshot.
And it is a massive, massive gamble. The cost is just astronomical. We're talking tens of millions of dollars just on the electricity bill. But beyond that, training models at this scale is incredibly unstable. The whole project could just fail, and that huge investment could give them absolutely nothing. It's a risk most companies, especially public ones, just are not willing to take.
So while OpenAI is fighting a war on two fronts, efficiency and brute force, their biggest rival, Google, is exploring a completely different road. They aren't just trying to build a better version of GPT, they're trying to build a different kind of AI altogether.
And this is where it gets really fascinating. Google's Gemini Diffusion model doesn't just predict the next word in a sentence like GPT does. No, it uses a process called denoising. The best way to picture it is to imagine a really blurry, pixelated image. The model's job is to gradually remove all that noise and sharpen the image, step by step, until it becomes a perfect, clear picture. It's literally creating order out of chaos.
So what's the trade-off? Well, on one side, you have transformer models like GPT. They're fast, they're established tech, but their big weakness is hallucinations. You know, when they just make stuff up. On the other side, these new diffusion models are slower for now, but because they build the answer all at once, they have much better global consistency. They don't contradict themselves.
And this ability to solve the hallucination problem, that's diffusion's superpower. By making sure the entire output makes sense from start to finish, it could dramatically reduce the chances of the AI just confidently making things up. I mean, imagine what that means for complex coding or getting factual information. It is a potential game changer.
So you've got these different technological bets being placed by the giants of the industry. But what does this mean for the rest of us? This isn't just a science experiment in a lab. It's actively reshaping entire industries, business models, and even the type of people that companies are fighting to hire.
To get a feel for the scale of this shift, just look at this number, 980 trillion. That is the number of tokens Google processes every single month. And get this, it doubled in just a few months. This shows that AI is moving so fast, from a niche tool for techies to a mass market utility that millions of us use every day.
And that explosion in use is causing this huge shift in the job market. For years, the most wanted people in AI were the pure researchers, the brilliant minds coming up with new theories. Now, the focus is rapidly shifting to implementation talent, the engineers who can take those theories and actually build stable, usable products for the rest of us.
Okay, let's bring it all together. The new AI arms race isn't a simple contest of who has the biggest model anymore. It is a multi-front war. It's being fought over who has the cleverest architectures, who makes the smartest open source moves, who's willing to make these huge brute force gambles, who figures out the best business models, and who can win the fierce competition for the talent that can actually build this stuff in the real world.
And this leaves us with the ultimate question. As these companies climb higher and dig deeper, what's the final destination? Are we just building a more efficient, more powerful tool? Or are we on the verge of creating a totally new form of intelligence, something we can't even really imagine yet? That's the real mystery at the heart of this new arms race.